Welcome back to Game Night. I love that song. That is my ringtone. I'm not even kidding. We're just jacked for this week because we are in the throes of district play. Check out this thermometer. We're just a tick above 0 degrees here, about 90 minutes before kickoff. And I also have something here I want to show everyone. This is a little thank you note. Most, if not all, high school football players in the state of Nebraska would dream for the opportunity. We have breaking news as the X's have signed former Major League outfielder Derek Robinson. I spoke to David Herbster, the athletic director at USD. You know, there's been a rule in South Dakota where you got to go year to year with these contracts for these coaches. Might have been some people food inside that Buffalo Bills Bowl. All right, the Musketeers announced their final roster. When they play their first playoff game in school history, head coach Rudy Week joins me next. Hit it, Aaron. Sports is next. Nearly 4 weeks ago, WINSIDE football player Trey Meese was in the headlines after he collapsed on the football field and had to be life-flighted to Sioux City with a head injury. Initially, the Wildcats didn't have enough players to continue their season. But as it turns out, their opponents made sure Trey had an even bigger team supporting his recovery. Trey Meese misses his friends.
A lot.
It was this play on September 23rd at Randolph. The WINSIDE junior caught a pass, was tackled, hit his head, and got right back up.
Little screen pass there to Trey.
I got up and I remember the ref saying I was going to the sidelines. So I was like, okay, and then he started walking with me, and when he let go, I felt going sideways.
WINSIDE head coach Kent Lawson heard parents yelling not to let Trey walk by himself.
He started to wobble, and I was able to move out and catch him, and we took him to the sideline, and once we got to the sideline, things quickly regressed.
The next play was this punt. We've highlighted where Coach Lawson and the medical staff were laying Trey down near the bench and getting his pads off.
Rapidly, it went from being checking an injury that we hoped was minor to being obviously something that was quite severe, and oxygen and IVs and things managed to get things stabilized.
That would prove to be the final play of the game. It was postponed and then canceled as the medical team in Randolph rushed to get Trey to an ambulance and ultimately had Trey life-flighted to Sioux City for treatment.
They said I was getting air-flighted, and then I remember getting off of it, and then I started throwing up right as I got off of it.
Trey spent 4 days at Mercy Medical and was diagnosed with a subdural hematoma. It could take up to a year for him to recover. Meanwhile, WINSIDE just didn't have enough players and had to forfeit their following week's game at Emerson Hubbard. Pirate fans turned what would have been their homecoming into a fundraiser for Trey. The Wynot, Randolph, and Allen football teams also joined suit.
The small towns around Nebraska, just overwhelming support. You can't really describe it. It's going to be impossible to try to thank all of them, but I'm going to try.
Meanwhile, Trey is usually only awake about 8 hours a day.
It's pretty much my routine for the last 3 weeks is wake up, eat, then go back to sleep.
He spent some of those hours at the team's first game back the following week. As Trey fought through the headaches caused by light and sound, he fought back the tears as his teammates presented him with his jersey and hugs. They were playing Allen, and the Eagles players gave him a cooler full of goodies.
I knew the support from my team was just crazy, but that just put me over the edge. I started crying. I couldn't help it.
And although Trey has decided he's done playing football, something he learned on the gridiron will drive him as he heals.
A little step back, but always forward, never backwards. That's our football quote, I guess.
The results of Trey's latest CAT scan are in, and he's been cleared to go back to school Thursday. The teachers have already brought in a mattress to one of the teachers' offices for when Trey needs a break. He'll be doing half days initially, and he'll get to start light activities after Thanksgiving. I'm Chris Neyenhouse, live here at the U.S. Cellular Center in Cedar Rapids. Class 2A state volleyball took center stage today as #1 seed and defending state champions Western Christian took the court, as did #2 seed, fellow Northwest Iowa rival Unity Christian. Many think they both have what it takes to play in the state championship game on Friday, but of course they had to win their opening round games today, and they both showed they have the firepower to make it to Friday's final. Let's start in Class 2A, where the defending state champions, number 1 seed Western Christian, played Grundy Center in the opening round. Already up 1-0. Western Christian was down 7-5 in the second. Erica Feenstra with the kill. She had 8. Later in the set, Emily Van Ginkel with the smash, one of her 7 kills today. They take the second set 25-17. In the third, Carson Winterfeld puts them up 9-7. She led the team with 11. And then Winterfeld again makes it 10-7. The Wolfpack were rolling. Later in the set, Feenstra with another kill. Western Christian up by 5. And then Feenstra again. Western Christian takes the third set 25-16. They get the sweep and they are on to tomorrow's semifinals. Would Unity Christian advance to the semifinals too, taking on a feisty Mediapolis team in the opening round. First set, Bullets up 20-18. Karina Timmermans with the kill. Knights down 1. Knights trying to come back. Josie Blancaspor with the tapper, but Unity Christian falls 25-22 in the first set. On to the second now. Blancaspor, my goodness. Unity Christian takes the second set 25-16 and the third set 25-20 in the fourth. Blancaspor took over. Knights up 23-17 after that kill, and then another hammer catches the corner. So it's match point now, and Blancaspor leaves, no doubt, after a year away. Unity Christian is on to the state semis. They win 3-1. In Class 3A, Sioux Center matched up with Mount Vernon in the 4-5 game, trying to advance to tomorrow's semis. First set, Warriors down 4-0. Lexus Toring gets Sioux Center on the board. She had 15 kills. Later in the set, Jessica Harold, she led the team with 19 kills. Sioux Center would fall in the first set, though, 25-18 in the second. The Warriors turned it on. Cameron Cleveringa, zing! She had 11 kills as well. Jordan Van Manen with the ace here. That's going to help take the set 25-19. But the fourth set belonged to the Mavericks, 25-16. Despite this great kill from Toring, the Mavericks put Sioux Center away. Still, Sioux Center taking home some hardware. Central Lyon and Lawton Bronson also scheduled to play today. See how they fared tonight on Siouxland News at 10. Larry, Diana, Chad, back to you.
At 6'6", Elk Point Jefferson starting center, senior Connor HENZE is an imposing player on the basketball court. The team's leading rebounder gives Husky fans reasons to cheer. But he can't hear them because Connor has been deaf since he was 3 months old.
I was really sick. I had meningitis.
We were told that he could be, he would be deaf. There's a great possibility he was mentally handicapped, couldn't walk, couldn't talk, nothing, and may not even live.
And they found out I had almost died twice while I had that disease, and from that point on, I was deaf.
At the age of 3, Connor met Jenny Claus, who has served as his interpreter throughout his childhood.
He doesn't need me.
Let's go. Do it again. Let's go.
But Huskies head coach Cole Knipling says he sure needs her. He says she does more than just sign the plays into Connor on game days.
As a coach, you're watching so many different things with all the different players, and Jenny's just watching Connor. So she'll come to me saying, you're telling him to do this, and he's not doing it. So it's great because she tattles on him all the time, and then I get after him.
Connor remembers the day coach first went after him and recruited him to play basketball when he was in middle school.
I feel just inspired and elated. It didn't mean that I was on it. I had to work my butt off to be on varsity.
It's kind of a crime. If he wasn't deaf, every NAIA school in our area would be drooling over him. He's the biggest athlete I've ever had here.
And in a sport where trash talk is big, Connor is unfazed.
If they say mean things, I ignore them. Actually, I can't hear them.
My favorite story is when he was a 7th grader. We were doing an in-practice scrimmage, and he used to wear his cochlear implant so he could hear some things, and he was shooting a free throw to win the scrimmage. And they're all getting loud, and he just unplugged it, looked at him like, I can't hear you, buried it, plugged it back in, and went, what?
What's next for Connor is college. He'll be going to Gallaudet University in Washington, D.C. It's the only higher education institution where all programs and services are specifically designed to accommodate deaf and hard of hearing students.
It's complete opposite of what is used to, because there you need an interpreter if you're hearing.
I want to be in an education career with a major in education and a minor in sports field management. and I'd like to play basketball for them for the next 4 years.
And I think he's going to play there. I think he's going to do great.
Are you going to miss him?
Yes, very much so.
Wherever he goes, Connor will always have a cheering section right here in Siouxland, whether he can hear them or not. In Elk Point, Chris Neyenhouse, Siouxland News.
Now, Stanton has to beat number 2 Battle Creek to make a case for the postseason. It's a tough ask, all right? Pick up action in the second quarter. Battle Creek on the Stanton 5-yard line. Josh Schick with the quarterback keeper. That's a touchdown. Extra point good. Battle Creek up 7-0. With 7 seconds left in the first half, Stanton answers Hunter's stall bomb to a wide open Trey Earps for the touchdown. Extra point is good, so we're tied at 7 at the half. So let's head to the third quarter. How's this one going to end? Stall bomb to Henry Bohack. Double coverage. Who cares? Touchdown. Extra point missed, but it didn't matter because that's how the game would end. Stanton with a huge win over Battle Creek, 13-7.